Good afternoon, friends and traders. Welcome to the Market Recap. I am Dan Hodgman. It is Thursday, April 22nd. I hope you guys all had a good day and we're short equities or the euro here today. Some good opportunity there on the news that came out. So a lot of times we gotta be thinking, we gotta be watching the radar, we gotta be watching the news, seeing the information that's coming out. Now, does that news always mean, does news coming out always mean the markets are gonna react? No, but when it has to do with taxes, something worthwhile, especially if there's a possibility of increasing taxes when it comes to capital gains. That's money involved in the markets. There's a lot involved there, and that could send things a little bit lower, and we saw exactly that here today. So that's kind of the big news. Some other news, the House has pushed forward a bill to instate Washington, D.C. as a state, so a 51st state. We'll see how that all plays out as it continues to move forward. But that's some pretty interesting news. Got a lot just going on around the world that we need to be paying attention to. I'm seeing information coming out of Texas A&M that they've been studying a new strain of COVID-19, which is, or COVID, I should say. I don't know if it's considered 19. But that is showing signs of can fight the antibodies, and the vaccine has really difficult, rough side effects to it. So we'll want to keep a track on that one, see if cases can start to surge once again. So we want to be cautious of that. Crude oil today kind of stayed inside, really didn't make any directional moves. We had a bounce off the open off of our overnight low and yesterday's swing low. Broke up or rallied up above settlement price a little bit, and then spent the day just kind of up and down from settlement price there. We talked about the equities, S&P and NASDAQ, big breaks. They basically were trading at settlement price off the open, and from there they flipped on over, gave back all of yesterday. Gold, similar yesterday. Gold had a big up day, and then from the overnight session, it made a downward directional move, and it just continued all day today. Came and checked yesterday's, or I should say, not yesterday, the prior day's settlement price. The euro on the news when taxes were in question, higher tax increase there. We have the euro breaking, and the 10-year note stays relatively quiet. We kind of floated around settlement price for a while, a little bit below, checking the overnight low, back up above. So inside day there as well. So like we said, major news. Taxes, capital gains taxes, possible big hikes there. So we'll see how that continues to move forward. On that note, let's go ahead and take a look at these charts and just see what we had going on here today. And again, I hope you guys all had a great day. Level 2 looks like you had a good one there. Felix, Deg, Tanya, Bill, good to see you guys. Let's go ahead here and start with crude oil. Crude oil settled yesterday at 61.35. And like I said, that's kind of where the market hung around. This is where I'm paying attention to. Overnight, we found an overnight low all the way down at 60.61. But really, as we start to look, we start to see there's a little bit more support as this market's trading right at that 60.80. 60.80 is where this market kind of hung around. We rallied right back up to settlement price, back down through settles, and right back up above. So where am I paying attention to? What am I looking for? I'm looking for opportunity as the market gets directional towards settlement price, right? So we may see up above. We came and checked just shy of yesterday's point of control as it starts to rotate over. I'm not looking for this thing to extend all the way down. I'm going to be pay attention more towards that settlement price. It's at yesterday's value area low. So as the market's approaching, I'm looking for opportunity. I'm not going to say I'm going to get in on the short right away. We saw it blow through there pretty quickly and did not hold, so it's telling us, okay, it wants to extend lower. As we approach new levels down below, maybe that's what we're looking for, a long opportunity. And rallies right back up and then right back down through settlement price. So bigger moves here in a shorter time span, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to trade. But if you've defined those levels and those areas that really catch your attention, you might find some good opportunity in that. Next, let's go ahead and look at the S&P 500. Market opened up this morning, like we said, moved to settlement price, and just continued on the trend. It was pressing higher. That's what this market's been doing. No news is good news. All of a sudden news comes out and it sends a fury of sellers into this market. And man, did they really extend low. And this is what we like to check out for opportunity. If we happen to catch the short, we start to see the questionable news. I don't even know what the right way of saying the news is, right? The news in general, we know it's going to send things lower. We catch the short, we can move down. Where are we looking? Well, yesterday, to me, we're looking to give back all of yesterday's gains, and we came right back down to yesterday's open. Great opportunity for a trade here if we were on the short side. If you missed that move, really hard to go ahead and get on this thing again here today, strictly because we don't have that direction. All of a sudden, we see the bounce. We're not looking for it to recover, but where do we get back in on that short? Maybe we start to recognize the seller started to come back in and see if we can just kind of pick up a little bit of the short there. Really, to me, the opportunity was as soon as the news came out. And the same is going to apply here for the NASDAQ. So just like S&P, NASDAQ kind of continued on its press higher. Prior to the news, we pushed up above settlement price. We started to show some acceptance above settlement price. We were attempting to get outside of yesterday's value area high. Well, the news comes out, market moves lower, and where do we see this thing go? Well, it goes to yesterday's value area low, and just like the NASDAQ, comes right down to where this market opened up yesterday. So good locations to look for an exit, right? Maybe not an entry point, but a great opportunity if we caught that short to get out where levels are coming into play. And we really like these opportunities as the market kind of just gives back the entire session, or probably even maybe we're looking to Tuesday's settlement price or yesterday's value area low. Some great targets down below to get out of a trade. And when you see those targets too, it's important to know if you see those targets, you know it's going to get a decent move. You can take a little bit more risk in those trades, and it's totally acceptable to take a little bit more heat if you're seeing a target that big. Maybe it's outside of the typical things that you're looking for, but that's what we have to be prepared for as traders. We have to be looking for those opportunities. When the market presents the big directional moves, those are the chances that we want to get in on. Next, let's take a look at gold. So like I said, really, gold continued in its trend that it presented in the overnight session, and that's all we're looking for. We're looking for the strength to get in on this downtrend, looking for that strength. So every time we see a little bit of a pop, we can go ahead and say that's a great opportunity to catch the short, right? If a market's directional, we're looking for it to give that pullback. So if we're trending lower, we're looking for the strength to go ahead and take the short. And if it's trending higher, we're looking for the weakness to get in on that opportunity. And that's what we saw here today. And finally, kind of towards the tail end of today, it stalled out, came right down to Tuesday's settlement price, and that's where the bounce was, and it starts to recover. Now, can this thing get back on track, back towards that $2,000 an ounce? It's very possible. If these equity markets continue to spill over, we could see this gold get on a strong rally. All right, next, let's go ahead and look at the euro. And just like the equity markets opened up this morning, continued higher, news came out, and the break was on. Came towards this week's swing high. We checked it, and that's where the break really started. Good opportunity there. Where are we looking for this market to move down to? So here's something you can start to keep an eye on. Remember, we're looking where this market continues to catch trends, areas that this market is going to kind of reject a little bit. And we can see here over in the last 24 hours, we've seen this market show rejection as it kind of came a little bit higher towards this high trend line. Obviously, this isn't perfect. It's not perfect every single time, but these are areas that we can start to say, I've seen the market kind of reject a little bit. And we want to find where that rejection is if we're going to try and go against the trend, right? Because this market's been trending higher. We want to find some areas where we can take those shorter shorts. And where can we see this market run? You guys know me, I'm always looking for return to settlement price after that market opens. And then lastly, let's go ahead and look at the 10-year note. Kind of all over the place. Questions with the information getting released today. This market really extended yesterday's range, but for the most part maintained an inside day. We're kind of looking at yesterday's entire trading session range as the range for today. We broke off of yesterday's regular session high off the open. We broke all the way down to and just a little bit through yesterday's low. We bounced there once again, and we rallied right back up to the tick to yesterday's regular trading hour high. So we kind of extended that range. 3 good opportunities to trade yesterday's entire regular trading hour range. I know we talk a lot about value areas, but if the market's moving outside of that, we're looking prior day high, prior day low, utilizing that entire range as well, because you can have more areas to look for opportunity as these markets continue to bounce between. All right, everybody, those are our markets here today. Like I said, we got a lot going on. Yes, we see VIX pop today. Right now we're at 1888, but we got up there today. We were down right at 17 before the news came out, and as soon as you see the break, you know volatility is going to increase, and we saw exactly that here today. A couple other things that we're taking a look at. 10-year note yields down 0.021 and 30-year down 0.038, so bigger down there. Thought we maybe see a little bit more of a pop in the actual Treasury themselves. Not the case. We've got Gamestop down a little bit again here today, $151 a share. Still pretty nice after the last break that we came down to 44. We bounced off that and had continued to hold up here in the mid-$100 range. We talked about the VIX. We got Tesla down just slightly at $720 a share. Our Airbnb stock, we finally got a little bit of life there. $170 right now, but this thing was all over the place. Oh, whoops, I'm looking at my 6-month. We got all the way up to 176. So we finally got that little bit of life here today. We saw a little pop. That's what this market wants. And then lastly, our Bitcoin, remember we're long that at 34,515. Right now, at the moment, we're sitting here trading 52,505. Yes, Richie, very crazy day. Tomorrow, a little bit quieter. We got PMI tomorrow morning, and then at 8:45 Central Time, and then we have new home sales at 9 a.m. Central Time. Other than that, no major releases. You're gonna have the Baker Hughes rig count at noon, and then we also have a couple earnings coming out tomorrow. Some bigger ones are American Express, Honeywell, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. We'll see how they do. We all know cruise lines have basically gone non-existent here in the last year. I know there is some push trying to get them back out at sea and having people get back on board. And then lastly, this date in history. Well, on this date in 1970 was the first ever Earth Day. And today is Earth Day, so go out and do a little recycling, plant a tree, try and give back a little bit. We also have one more. On this day, 1945, Hitler admitted defeat. So that's what I got for us here today, guys. John will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time with the market forecast. So until then, you guys stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart, and trade well. I look forward to seeing you guys in the markets. Take care, everybody.